Also, it's funny that all the enemies are buttons that do something when paired with control, like C and D. I also died in the first level because I let go of the button too early. Then I ran straight into a dead end, which was literal because that was where I died and the game ended. In this video, I played 3 random games where I had no control. Will I be able to regain my controls, or will I just lose them? Well, let's find out by jumping into Out of Control. So we're playing as a Z button with a sword, and we have to defend the control button against other keyboard buttons, like the Z button. I also have no idea why the control button was taking damage, but I have to defend it for 2 minutes. Staying on the control button also heals me up, so in my first attempt, I barely left it. Also, if you're wondering, all the games in this video all have the title of Out of Control. Why did I decide to do it? Well, because I found a lot of games that had that title on itch.io, and I thought it would be funny. I still don't know why the control button was taking so much damage, even though nothing was happening. Look, it's just taking damage without anything happening. Also, only a small amount of enemies were spawning, which made it pretty slow. But eventually, more started to spawn, and I nearly lost if it weren't for the fact that I dashed into the button to heal myself. By this point, the control button had sustained a significant amount of damage, and I lost. So I did it again. I eventually figured out that if any enemy spawned, then the control button would take damage, so I had to kill them before they did a lot of damage. So I decided to do that. Also, it's funny that all the enemies are buttons that do something when paired with control, like C and D. Hey, quick announcement! I've been posting comics and stories on Tapestry Royal Road, so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then go check them out. Links are in the description. And if you're not interested in that, then that's fine. Just enjoy the video. Wait, what happened to me? Why am I 3D? I also figured out a method to replenish my health as well as get rid of the enemies. That strategy was basically dash out of the control button to attack them, then dash back in to heal. Also, I got a double kill, and now the control button didn't take much damage in this run compared to the last one. Now we only have less than a minute left, but despite my best attempt to protect the control button, the enemies just kept coming, and they were doing a lot of damage to me as well as the button. I eventually got overwhelmed and lost. Anyways, let's go on to the next game. But before I move on, if you're enjoying this video so far, then leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out my channel. Anyways, let's go on to the next game. Next game is Out of Control. Also, why does the playable character look like they're wearing a spiky jacket? Anyways, let's begin. So in this game, we only have a limited amount of controls that we use up if we want to move. I also died in the first level because I let go of the button too early. In the next level, I had to click a right button to get to the exit. The third level was pretty interesting. These blocks will be removed when I have the up button, so I had to grab that along with the right button. I thought I needed to use it at the blocks, but no, I just needed to have it. I also had to restart because I kept not pressing down the button long enough, which is pretty annoying. Now this was where I had difficulties, mostly because I didn't know the controls. So I kept pressing the up arrow on my keyboard. I thought it was the jump button, but it was not. The jump button was a space bar. I figured that out pretty quickly and beat the level. I also had to use up all my controls to restart, which was pretty annoying. This level needed me to use up all my jumps so that I don't make the bridge collapse. And now we're in this level, which was very annoying for me. These walls forced me to go to the opposite direction, so if I moved right, then I would go left. I had to counteract that with the 6 jumps that I have, which sounded pretty easy. The only problem with that though, was that it was very difficult to do, and I couldn't do it. I spent a lot of my time trying to figure out how to do it, but I still couldn't get to the exit. Also, fun fact, I just graduated and I'm about to go to college in the next school year. This happened back in March, and the only reason why I'm announcing it now is because all of the videos posted in the past weeks were all prepared before I graduated, and I forgot to mention it in those videos. This footage is also 3 times faster, so you could probably tell that I tried to beat this level for the longest time. It's also funny that the first video that I posted in this month was about the game that also had Out of Control in its title. I got close to getting to the exit, but I couldn't reach it. So let's just move on to the last game, because I got very frustrated and decided to quit. Last game is Out of Control, where we actually lose control if we move too much. Anyways, let's begin. So I immediately used up a shield whilst trying to start the game. Then I lost control shortly after that. I'm not controlling the ball, the game is making me move wildly, and I can't do anything about it. I just have to wait until I get my controls back. Anyways, I grabbed that shield and lost control again. I had to use my shield to protect myself from the enemies as I'm moving wildly. Once I got my controls back, I swiftly got to the safe zone. Then I had to activate the shield to protect myself because I kept getting out of the safe zone. Anyways, I kept moving forward until I nearly got hit by this guy. Then I ran straight into a dead end, which was literal because that was where I died and the game ended. I went on another run, and in this run I realized that I could just not lose control by waiting for the bar to replenish and not move while it is slow, which was the exact opposite thing that I was doing earlier. I used up a shield to grab another one. Then I was so close to getting to the safe zone, but I got attacked as my shield ran out. Why the heck are these things so fast? After a couple of attempts, I got to this safe zone before losing control. I nearly ran into a nearby enemy, but I was able to regain my control and activate the shield as I was being attacked. I then lost control and ran into a ton of enemies. I nearly got to the next safe zone, but I had to keep running away from the swarm of monsters that were in my area. I eventually ran out of shields and ran into an enemy while I lost control. This time I was super careful in maintaining my control bar. I didn't even bother grabbing this shield. I did lose control while trying to rush into the safe zone. Thankfully, the enemy didn't even get to me while I was losing control. Is anyone getting sick of me saying the word control? Because I'm getting sick of typing it out constantly. I was trying not to get seen by this enemy, but I failed, so I had to run with a shield active. And then I got to the nest, where I lost control and started to go berserk. The shield luckily saved me, but I eventually ran out of shields, as I also lost control. I died pretty quickly. Anyways, if you want to watch more of my content, click any videos on screen. Anyways, adios.